there's actually a lot in the mix. Remember that conversation between INEC and the AFCC? How are they going to curb vote buying? The conversation is there. And then about this one, which we say, they're also talking about independent candidacy. And will this amendment, this electronic voting, if INEC were to have fully electronic voting, will it curb the question about collation of results? Because at that collation point is where there's a problem.
Oh, yes, it will. Like, you see, once you have electronic voting, and the results are going to be transmitted electronically, what it means is that once all I need to concentrate on is the polling unit where I voted. Once I have the results and our agents are in all the other polling units, we can get our own results and do our own collation. We don't need to follow INEC to anywhere. The results cannot change because the base is like when you do accounts, there's a ledger book. The ledger is a source book. The source book here is the polling unit. Once we have the source, because what are you collating? Is it not you are collating what's at the bottom?
They cannot cook the books.
You cannot cook it anymore because they are the source. The source is the polling unit. So once we have the collation,
you know, I share your optimism, but I'm looking at the process now. Because if we're sending results electronically from the collation centers, that means we're like it's sort of not needing a collation center even.
Yes.
But I'm concerned about the back end. Because if you have card readers, which is supposed to be part of the electronic process,
yes,
and it's been faulted even from the previous elections.
Oh, yeah.
What more can we say about how successful to have a complete process that is seen to be
seamless? That's seamless.
Yes, seamless.
Yes, yes. We will have faults and we'll learn from them. It's just like technology. Any other technology we have to learn. You know, we're using these push phones, these analog phones. Today, people are using Android. Even bread sellers are using Android, and they learned how to use it. During the last election, smart traders had problem because the people who are operating those smart traders were not well trained. Some of us were teaching them that the issue of batteries, the calibration, they have to clean the fingerprinting. Some people's hands were sweaty, oily. So these are the things that we learned from. So we can learn from it and it will get better.
Has
but
INEC
it is
trained
the way
anyone
to go.
Since then?
I'm sorry?
Has INEC trained anyone since then?
They should be, because it is the way to go. It is the way the future is. The way the future is going. Everybody is now using their ATM card. People are making payments via their telephone. So these things have to change, especially when it comes to ensuring there is no double registration and double voting.
How about
now, the issue of independent candidacy?
Yeah, will it work?
Yes, it will be. It's a wonderful idea, because what we have presently is that we have godfatherism and we have what you call political godfathers who are in charge of political parties, and they are so powerful that they decide who becomes governor, who becomes senator. So they, at the end of the day, they rule Nigeria by fiat. The only way you can cut that excess, where inept people are being handpicked to represent the interests of the godfathers or those political gladiators, with independent candidacy, Nigerians will now have the option that if they love a candidate, and then the issue of unnecessary expenditure, because the only problem that an independent candidacy would have had is that they will not have money to pay for agents, well-trained political agents, to ensure that it is not cheated at each of the polling units. But with electronic transmission of votes and smart card, an independent candidate now can come out, even if he doesn't have the finance. All he needs are individual to record the results and collate, do their own collation. So without e-voting, smart card, independent candidacy will be pissing in the wind. It will be a waste of time.
Wow.
So we need a combination of the two to ensure there's credible, free, fair election, and there's multiplicity of parties for people to make choices. So because the issue of the two-party system, Nigeria is pushing, or people, the ruling class are pushing us to, must be fought at all costs. And independent candidacy will kill that.
Right now we have 68.
Oh yeah, they are not. The reason why they cannot work is because those parties cannot afford to pay for agents. To need in one political, you know how many polling agents in Lagos? About 3,000. So if you're a political party in a state and you have to pay an agent, let's assume 5,000 naira each, and you don't only pay them for that day, you train them for weeks. It's very costly for anybody to run an election. That's why all these political parties that you see are completely hopeless, Because if you go out, they will not have agents on the polling on the election day. You will not find their presence. You only see their name on the ballot papers.
There's just so much to talk about.
Don't worry,
So independent candidacy is the real third arm, is the real third force will be an independent candidacy. Not all the multiplicity of political parties.
At least now people know that.
Who knows who they are? Do they even have political offices?
Now people know that running that is more than even a company in some cases. If you have 3,000 polling agents,
just in one state.
It speaks a lot. Well, there you go. Aka-Bashorun is the former vice chairman of Koshofe local government area and a member of Pronaco. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Let's hand over to Abuja.